Hello! I've arrived. Artist, archivist, future man, and tonight, Alchemist. You can call me Tiberius Vanderfield. Hello, hello. So yes, so, tonight, Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. Yes. Not a whole lot else to be said on that. Yes, I mentioned it in my tweet, but today we're probably going to be taking it easy. Not going to be doing any more story progress, or at least that's not going to be a major focus. Instead, I plan to explore around the area that we just cleared of mana last time around, because I'm a little bit tired today. Yes, you may notice it from the lack of overwhelming exuberance that I typically, what's the word I'm looking for? Typically exhibit. There we go. That's a decent word for it. Anyway, yes, so for the rest of the week, once again, tomorrow's stream might be delayed somewhat. I don't have any reason to believe that I would have to cancel it, but it could be delayed. But yes, we shall see. I suppose, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. What will happen, will happen. So yes, then for the Saturday stream, this week's passed by pretty quickly, huh? Anyway, but yes, for the Saturday stream, you should be seeing some more Arknights. But yeah, again, I will keep you posted on the time for the Friday stream. Unfortunately, I will not know when exactly. Yeah, I won't know whether or not it will be delayed until basically stream time. So, anyway, other than that, once again, Saturday, I don't expect any delays, but that doesn't mean that we won't have any, necessarily. But yes, Saturday, you can expect to be around 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and I don't have any reason to believe there should be any delays, just to be clear. So yes, anyway, all that being said, Atelier. Yes, so, last time around, we happened to catch a glimpse of a figure, a particular figure that is familiar to our allies here. Yes, a individual who is some manner of being. Yes, they previously, or rather they did, identify it as a monster, but we witnessed them using alchemy, which would imply that they are at the very least sapient. Whether or not they are a monster on top of that is yet to be determined, I suppose, but they certainly are a monster in a metaphorical sense, given that they have exploded at least one town. But yes. So, let's see. So those have check marks on them, so presumably those are things that don't need to be investigated any further. I wonder if that zipline needs to be repaired, or if I just haven't used it. That's... let's see, is that... Okay, yeah, that is not something that we have, not a fast travel point we've gotten. This would get us close to the Great Tree, which I'm assuming is our next port of call. We could do a little bit more exploring over here, but probably a lot of this area is going to be mana bound, so we're probably not going to get too far into it. So yes, we could sort of dip in and out, but... So yeah, I think we'll swing around, sort of see what some of these points of interest are. We might go ahead and do some more quests or something of that sort. So yeah, more or less, though, I'm just kind of going to figure this out as we go. Oh. I, for one, am very glad to get more particles. Alright, so this needs to be rewired. Quick and easy. Yeah, this is a good example of a zipline that was quite useful. Collect some fruit. Collect some treasure. Alright, so yeah. So anyway, so there wasn't a stream yesterday. I just looked over at the preview, and it looks like we are still having the issues that we've been having to a certain extent. the very least, it looked like we were having some frame rate issues. Yeah, I thought that maybe those could have just been in the preview or something of that sort, but it does seem from looking at the, finished product of the stream later on, it does seem that there was in fact some issue with something. It's hard to say precisely what the issue is, especially because it's not happened before, but the frame rate is definitely a little bit worse now. I wonder, you know what? We're having a very laid back stream. Give me a second. I'm going to take a look at something. Yes, there could be an issue. There could be quite a few issues, actually. Hold on. Well, okay, there's probably not quite a few, but there's at least one, probably. Alright. Yeah, it might have something to do with some... that wouldn't be it. Yeah, I have noticed that my CPU is warmer than usual. I'm going to see if I can do something about that. I guess I don't look at the CPU power or the CPU temperature all that often during streams. Well, with the fact that I'm usually streaming at the time. So I guess I don't know if it's necessarily hotter than usual. It definitely feels like it shouldn't be this hot, though. So yeah, it could be that the CPU temperature is causing some throttling. That might be the source of the issue. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Let's see, what? I know that I did change my... Yeah, I changed my graphics settings a little bit for the game. But I would think that that would mostly affect... I would think that that would affect the GPU, if anything, not the CPU. Well, we shall see. Yeah, nothing immediately that I can see to do about this. At least nothing more than what I have done. So I guess we'll just live with this and see how that treats us. Because yeah, we're definitely getting some... Yeah, definitely still getting some frame rate issues. So actually, I'm going to go in and turn down the graphics a little bit. Turn down the graphics a little bit and see how that treats us. I guess draw distance and stuff like that could probably affect the CPU usage. Alright, so let's see. I suppose it wouldn't change the temperature immediately. We'll let it run for a little while and see if that affects the computer at all. Well, at least we've got an idea of what the issue could be. Taking some time to troubleshoot and whatnot. Ooh, fishing spot. Alright, so I don't think we have a lure with which to go fishing. Let's see. Is that something we need to unlock? I would assume so. So yeah. Okay, so we need to... It said you can use a lure to go fishing, so presumably we can... Oh, I don't have game audio, do I? Well, like I said, laid back stream today. Alright, so not... Yeah, the CPU temperature has not gone down, just looking at it a little bit more now. That's... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it probably... Yeah, I don't know. It's higher than I expect it to be. Higher than I expect it to be. I might need to clean out the fans or something. Something of that nature. But yeah, changing the graphics settings doesn't seem to have had any major impact on it. We'll keep it as it is for now, but definitely I'll look into that some more later. So yeah, so we can't fish currently because we don't have any lures and we don't have the means to make them. So yes, if we happen to get a lure at some point, I imagine we could use it, but I feel like the game's probably not necessarily going to hand them out to us, at least not all that readily. But yeah, this is pretty unpleasant. It's not, it's certainly not untenable, but it's not ideal. Alright. Quite a bit of sap to be had here, but I guess that's the point of one of these gathering areas. Let's see, is there anything in particular we missed? Not really. I haven't been paying too much attention to what we've been doing, but my finely honed alchemist instincts have been have been leading me to the points of interest. That and of course the game design. Okay, so yes, so I do see now. I have now noticed the icon. Yeah, the icon for the piles. I suppose we probably should be fighting more enemies because they can drop things that could be useful for us. Alright, let's fight some more birds. Yeah, so we have one to start with. I wonder if these are reserved between battles, because we started with one, or we finished with one last time around. Alright. Yeah, I wonder if they are preserved between battles, or if you just start each battle with one. It feels somewhat unlikely that you just start each battle with one. So I'm leaning more towards the assumption that they are preserved. But again, I don't really have I don't have reason to believe one or the other necessarily. Let's fight one of these. Okay, so we didn't have one at the start of the battle, so I've just been getting them quickly. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like, as suspected, or as, the description said, ooh, that's a pretty bad frame drop. I don't know. I did want to, stream. But if we are having such severe performance issues, and again, unusually high CPU temperature, probably this is something that I want to look into to make sure that nothing's, wrong. Because ideally, I would like it if my laptop was not destroyed in the process of streaming. So, once again, I'm going to take some time to look into things a little bit here. I wonder. What could be done? Alright, I've switched on power saving mode. That might make the game performance a little bit worse, but it should make the computer run less hot, at the very least. And again, running less hot is good, broadly speaking. And yeah, I've seen a pretty immediate and dramatic decrease in CPU temperature. So I might need to keep an eye on that. And so yeah, with that, things look pretty fine. Yeah, nothing looks... Yeah, I don't know, it looks fine. It looks fine, in short. Alright. Yeah, I keep looking away from the preview to look at the game itself, which is perhaps a natural thing to do, but if I want to keep an eye on how things are progressing, I should probably keep an eye on the preview. But it does look like we're still getting frame issues. Are we? No, CPU temperature is still down. Okay, so it's not directly related to CPU temperature. Oop, oh dear. Oh, no, okay. For a second there, I thought the game crashed. But we should be good. Alright. It looks like this stream might be a little bit more troubleshooting than I was planning on. Pardon. But I suppose I've got to figure out what's going on at some point. Do we need to repair this? Of course we do, yes. I think we've encountered this very ladder before. Okay, so there's a point of interest over here, and that's what I was aiming for, but I missed it. Looks like... Actually, if we were to get up to the Alder village, or the Alder settlement, we could probably get over that root bridge. And we can probably fast travel there, right? Yeah. I guess this is the Alder settlement, but it is an area, and it will lead us over to where we desire to go. Yeah, so if the CPU temperature isn't the issue, and we're not seeing throttling because of that, I'm pretty far off course. Yeah, if the CPU temperature isn't the issue, I suppose it could be kind of a... Yeah. It could be that now that I have power saving mode on, it's not putting as much effort into... or it can't devote as many PC resources to rendering all the frames as I need them. So it could be that I've essentially just traded one problem for another roughly equivalent problem. Honestly, possibly a worse problem, because I do think that it seems to be a little bit more frequent and a little bit more severe, the frame drops now. That's interesting. Yeah, are we having issues on OBS, actually? Hold on. Stats, where's my stats? There we are. It's not saying that we're... Okay, yeah, frames missed due to rendering lag, okay. Yeah, so it does seem that we are having some lag in OBS. That's interesting. I'm curious why that would be. I guess, yeah, it could be that, yeah, essentially because of the amount of, yeah, let me walk through my thought process a little bit more here. So yes, so like I said, I recently turned up the graphic settings in the game. And let's see. I wonder. Is there anything in here that would be particularly impactful? I wonder. Standard. I think this should probably set most things to be slightly lower than they were before, at the very least. Yeah, anyway. Yes. So if the issue is that the graphic settings that I set the game to were a little bit much, yeah, things are definitely seem smoother. Not perfect, I don't think, but they're definitely better. Again, I'll probably just have to keep an eye on it. Oh. Alright. I'd appreciate it if you didn't get into battles with me, birds, but, you know. I suppose you can't go against your instincts. Anyway. You know, actually, I just realized, now I didn't know that it showed what the amount of experience you got at the end of each battle was before. So I guess now we can actually check how much the training wrist weights increase experience gain. Alright. Yeah, so this is one bird once again. I don't think there's anything you can do in the battle to affect the amount of experience you get. Okay, that was less experience than last time, I'm pretty sure. I think our last battle gave us 72, didn't it? It could be that there's some slight differences between each of these birds. Or maybe not necessarily all birds, but at least some of these birds. Oh. Could there have been others that were in the previous battle, I wonder? No, because yeah, that was a lot more than, that was a pretty significant difference. What with there being 3 birds as opposed to 1. Alright, so now we have another bird. So, hard to say. Yeah, I guess whether or not we can get a good idea is dependent on whether or not we can consistently fight the same number of birds. And yeah, we don't have any way of knowing if a bird... Yeah, we don't have any way of knowing if a particular bird is 1 bird or up to 3 birds until we actually get into the fight. Yeah. The performance is not... It does seem... I don't know. I don't think it's much improved. I might need to do some more testing off stream. We shall see, I suppose, though. Actually, hold on. This alder was outside of the alder settlement, so this one probably has something for us. Hello there. Alright. You've heard them say that quite a bit. Alright. We've gotten an ambrosial fruit. Very nice. And so I think if we go around, we should probably be able to reach the point we were looking for. I suppose I can't be too preoccupied with the frame drops, because I do need to, actually stream at some point, in theory. But it will be, again, something that I really ought to look into, because I'd much prefer that we not have fairly severe frame drops at all times. I wonder if the area that we're in might also be more taxing than previous areas. Very interesting. I think we missed the area that I was actually planning to go to, but we have found a shrine, so... Yeah, we're definitely not at where we were planning to go, but we did find something, at the very least. Alright, so this is one of the nodes. Are there... No. I was going to say, it's the one that we shoot, not in this case. There needs to be something else done. Alright. I suppose I didn't need to rotate it quite that many times, but oh well. Very nice. Alright, that's one down. And I guess this one, yes, I was going to say, would have something to activate it nearby. Alright, so that's 2 of them active. And it looks like no other ones need to be activated, so here we go. Alright, an energy prism. Very good. Alright, so let's see about going over to the place where we said we were going to go, huh? Alright. A smaller shrine. At a bit of an odd angle there. You have to wonder how they would end up like this. I suppose perhaps it was... Well, I don't think the tree could have grown up under it necessarily. Like this. Interesting. You know, it's just a game design thing, I suppose, but it's interesting to think about. I like to think about these spaces as through the lens of sort of imagining what it would be like, how things would happen, transpire to make the Man, you can hear the tiredness in my difficulty formulating words. Let's see, this looks like another monster area. Yep. Don't want to get into too many fights, but I do want to talk to an alder if I can. Have I been calling them alders? I just realized I think I've been calling them alders this whole time. They are alders. Ah, and a treasure trove. Nice. Alright, let's see what we have. Sadness shuttle. Shuttlecock steeped in miasma. It explodes on impact, spreading the unpleasant stuff inside. As for how it earned its name, anyone who gets hit by it will soon find out. Interesting item. Yeah, I suppose that's some sort of tool that we can use, probably? It would be weird if it wasn't, I suppose. Anyway. Yeah, let's put it on... If it is an item to be used, I suppose we ought to put it on Victor, because he's who we're playing as, and it's not, actually. So I guess it's a crafting item? Alright, anything else of note in this immediate area? Not terribly. So if we continue to follow the river this way, we should find some more. And we might need to... oh no. Alright. You know, I said I wasn't going to concern myself with it too much, but I am concerned with it a bit. This is a fishing spot. So, I might wrap up a little bit early. I feel like... there we go. I was going to say, I feel like there's a shrine here. We're out of bullets now, so we should fix that. Alright. No shortage of iron. Alright, up we go. I think this should be this section of the map pretty clear. Got another point of interest over there. That... ah, okay, hold on. Or no. Yeah, I was going to say I'd mistaken that Shrine of Prayer for a fast travel point, and I was confused as to why we couldn't fast travel to it. Well, probably because it's not a point that you fast travel to. Got an... oh. Yeah, we've got some raptors here. Now, I've always been focusing on using the... yeah, focusing on using my dodge to avoid... there we are. Yeah, focusing on using it to avoid the moves that have indicators on them. But I wonder if it's also effective on auto attacks, so to speak. Let's see, that's not anything. I think we've explored this little bit of ruins here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have. Ah, okay, so that's behind this wall, I assume. So we probably can't get in there right now. Seems like there's something in there, probably. Yeah, so that's that. So if we want more, we'll have to go down around here, I imagine. Fast traveling here and then going for these other points of interest could get us some benefit. There's an Oliver over here. Oop. Somewhere. Ah, there you are. Hello there. Yeah. So again, we get predominantly fairly rare materials from them. I suppose that's to encourage you to actually interact with them. Another shrine up there, I'd imagine. And I think we can probably get up somewhat through a somewhat indirect route here. Maybe not quite that indirect. Alright, hold on. Alright. This might not be a point that the developers want me to get up on, but that's never stopped me before. Very nice. Alright. Okay, this is not effective in leading me towards my goals, but this could be something. I don't know that the tree is curved enough for us to scale it, though. Oh, that was close. But I don't... Ah, here we are. Persistence. So, we can go out on a limb. I don't know that the game wants me to do this. It doesn't seem to enjoy it. That was quite a bit of energy we spent there. So maybe we should take a safer route. Alright, is that? No. Thought I saw something out of the usual there, but it seems like more of the same. Alright. Over this way. And up and around there should be where we need to go. Okay. Yeah, so this was a much more reliable, reasonable route to where we were going, but I had to give it a shot. Huh. Yeah, so this needs to be repaired. Ooh, this is quite complicated. Let's see. I feel like this is not necessarily... Because, yeah, we want all of these lit up. So, yeah. There we are. Where does this take us? I think this takes us over to the botanical garden. Ah, this takes us to the zipline I had noted earlier. Okay. Very nice. Nice to see the researchers sort of settle in once we've cleared out an area. I imagine if we talk to them, they might have some lore for us. But I am a man on a mission today. I have no time for lore, despite my love of it. I do have time for treasure, however, because that is part of my mission. Alright, so, down we go. Ah. Quick and easy. So yes, so that is that, and we've got this area pretty well cleared out of any points of interest. Yeah, the only remaining question mark is that one behind the wall, which we... oh, and that one apparently. I think this... yeah, this should be this... oh no. Okay, so either there's two of them that are behind walls, or... either there's two of them that are behind destructible walls, or I've just misremembered something. Okay, no, they're both behind destructible walls. Okay. That explains why I confused them for each other. So yes, so we've done most of what we can do up and around this part. Oh, okay, we missed something. If we fast travel to the Alber settlement, this should allow us to get there a little bit faster. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting how... Shrine of Prayer. Yeah, interesting how I've been... I almost wonder if the frame rate issues have been something that has been happening for a while, or if they only just now started. Because I feel like I didn't notice them before. I didn't notice them before changing my graphics settings in the game. But at the same time, I wasn't looking for them either. Alright. Pretty easy, that. There should be another one over around here. Possibly, yes. I was going to say, possibly behind the rock. Indeed it is. Yeah. Oh. Alright. I wonder if there... No. I was going to say, I wonder if there's another button I can press to rotate it in the other direction, but it seems like not. Alright. It looks like the puzzle is different every time you activate it as well. I wonder if they have some sort of system in place to procedurally generate these puzzles. Or... let's see. I wonder if they have some system in place to procedurally generate them, or if they just made a whole bunch of them and simply choose them at random. Presumably the fruit sandwiches are an utterly indispensable part of camping, because we always require fruit in order to camp. And it looks like the Alber settlement has perhaps one of the places that we need to go to, or one of the things we need to activate. Ah, no, not in the settlement itself, but beyond it. Is that leading down? Yes. Interesting. So this is taking us quite a ways away. I don't think we've ever had a node for a shrine be this far away from the shrine itself. Unless there's something I'm missing here. Okay, no, it's just really far away. Look. Alright, so. Honestly, it feels like it'd be faster to fast travel back to the point of interest. Where was it? Right up here. Okay. Oh. Yeah, so, with that, Alber settlement, and back to the shrine. Alright. Not going to bother with these birds. It still feels like we're ways away from the shrine. Alright, here we are. Actually, we jumped over a wall to get there previously, didn't we? So I just took something of an inefficient route. Alright, well, one way or the other, it's active now, so... it is what it is. Alright. So, anything else stick out? Not really. Yeah, I was gonna say that. There's something shining over there, but that is something we've already activated. So yeah, nothing of any tremendous note. So yeah, it is a little bit short for a stream, but I feel like we're at a decent point to call things for right now. I did basically everything that I set out to do. So the only thing left to do is sort of meander around some more, which I could do. I could just sit here and talk for a while or something like that, but I don't feel any particular need to pad. At the very least, I do, or rather, yeah, I don't feel the need to pad things out, but I do feel the need to investigate my issues and figure out what is causing the inconsistencies in the frame rate. Because that would be something that I'd very much like to not have happen. So yeah. So again, just to refresh my memory more so than anything, I don't remember having frame rate issues before I switched my graphics settings. But, on the other hand, I also haven't been paying that much attention to it. So it's hard to say for sure if it's something that... Yeah, it's hard to say for sure if it's something that has only just now started to happen, or if it's something that I just haven't noticed up until now. Because, yeah, I don't think anything that I did would have been so severe as to make it so I simply can't render frames all that at a reasonable rate. Because I am, I'm not seeing any frame drops on my screen. It's just the, connection between the laptop. Yeah, somewhere in the connection between the laptop and the desktop. Something somewhere along that process is causing issues. Or experiencing issues, perhaps. But yeah, anyway. It is what it is, and I'll just have to look into it some more off-stream, so. With that, then, if anyone has any raid suggestions, I would be delighted to hear them. If not, I can find a target on my own. And while we wait for that, while we wait for that, we will go over other things, like the schedule and whatnot. So yes, so, tonight... Oh, hold on. You can really tell that I'm sleepy because I forgot to return to the studio. Anyway, so yes, so, tonight has been Atelier. Tomorrow I was so focused on the possibility of the stream being delayed that I forgot to mention what the stream was. So yes, so tomorrow we should be seeing some more Mika and the Witch's Mountain. There we go. Yeah, Mika and the Witch's Mountain. Friday might be delayed, might not be. I don't anticipate a likelihood of the stream being canceled or anything of that sort. But yeah, if it gets delayed long enough, then there kind of won't be much of a point in doing it, I suppose. I suppose any progress is good progress, but to a certain point, I feel like it... Yeah, I don't feel like... I don't know. I'd like to get at least 30 minutes or so out of a stream or so. 45, 30 minutes. Bare minimum. So yeah, I guess there's always the possibility of going late, but I don't intend to do that. In short. So yes. So, other than that, let's see. Oh, Saturday. Saturday should be some more Arknights. Should be around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, assuming no delays, 9:30 p.m. Central Time for the Friday stream. But we shall see, as per usual. Yes. So, not seeing any raid suggestions. So tonight, I think we're going to go and stop by Physicist, who is streaming some Abiotic Factor with Chevy Chef, it looks like. So yes. Yeah, so I don't know very much about Abiotic Factor, other than that I am led to believe that it is some sort of survival game, and I've heard it compared to Half-Life in terms of likened to the Resonance Cascade, and sort of the, scientists surviving that in Half-Life. Something to that effect. Anyway, can you tell that I've not played Half-Life before? So yeah, anyway, Physicist. Flash raid, there we go. The customary raid message is, as always, we have arrived. And so, thank you all for being here tonight. I hope that you have had a fine night. I hope that you will continue to have a fine night every night. And I hope that you will be well until the next time I see you. Thank you all very much, and farewell. Let us get this raid underway.